Hi guys, so today's video is going to be a book haul. I don't have a ton of books to show, but I've got a few and I'm just going to jump right into it. The first one, I'm actually going to hold up Ninth Reign as a substitute because this is not a part of the book haul, but I read this book recently and loved it, and I immediately decided, okay, I need the rest of the trilogy. It is a completed series, which is really nice, and this is very shallow. First off, I haven't had the best reading luck as of late. I find I keep picking things up and then not really enjoying them. This one kind of broke that pattern for me. I really liked this one, but on top of that, I was also hoping I would like it because not only is the cover of the first one gorgeous, but the next two are also stunning, which I know is not actually what matters, but I'm grateful I enjoyed this literally to enjoy reading a book, but also I'll insert the images of the next two. How pretty are those? I definitely sung this book's praises when I completed it because I found it to be so unique, such a fantastic blend of some things that you have seen likely in a lot of subgenres of fantasy, like paranormal fantasy or steampunk, all of those sorts of different subgenres. And what's really nice is I think it took some things that are slightly familiar to those and then had a very unique take on it. And on top of that, I just found the characters to be really likable. In general, I really enjoyed this book, and I can't wait to get the second and the third ones. Just a heads up though, when I first talked about how much I liked this book, some of you immediately were like, okay, I'm gonna check it out. I want to get it. And as far as I can tell, it seems to be, I think, just published in the UK. So if you are gonna pick up a copy, I recommend checking out Book Depository because they do have almost entirely free worldwide shipping. I think there's a couple countries they don't ship to, but otherwise you should be able to get it from there if you are a Kindle reader. I think a workaround is you might be able to get the Kindle version from Amazon UK. I don't even think they have the Kindle on the US Amazon, so it's not the most accessible book, but it's really good and I really want more people to read it. Next up would be the special edition of the Illumicrate Witcher: The Last Wish. A lot of you know I'm quite a big fan of the Witcher series, and I for so long have had the really beautiful but not in English versions of the series. That's the Polish edition. No, I do not speak Polish. I know some of you think that's ridiculous. I don't care. I had the American editions for a long time, but if you don't know, the Witcher series, the American covers take the video game art, and that is confusing for some people because they think that means the books are based off the games, and it's the other way around, but they were originally in Polish, and when they translated them, they kind of just used the video game art since that's how a lot of Americans and a lot of the rest of the world were introduced to the series. And I have always wanted some kind of cover that I think does the series justice, and I do think that this cover does. I think the spine is gorgeous. It's very simple on the back. It's a pretty simple cover on the front, but even just the little detail of the bird and the eye of the wolf, I love the symbolism with that, and I'm hoping that they end up doing the rest of the series like this because I think this is absolutely gorgeous and I think we're definitely on the right track. Next up is actually another special edition, and that would be the Fairy Loot special edition of A Song of Race and Ruin, which has green sprayed edges. If you haven't seen, which I'm sure you have because she's delightful, but if you haven't seen Naya Reads and Smiles, she is just the most precious, enthusiastic bookworm. It doesn't matter what she's talking about, even if it's a book I'm not interested in, she just gets me excited to read. And if you haven't checked her videos out, I highly recommend checking her out and watching her vlog for this book. But either way, I've heard a lot of good things about this. It's a YA fantasy. It's supposed to have enemies to lovers trope. It's African inspired. And I know that the special edition, it's not like it has a different cover or anything like that, but Fairy Loot seems like a pretty cool company from everything I've seen, and they were donating money from this book sale to a good cause. And if you don't know, I decided for the last 6 months of the year that I wanted to take any profit that my books sales made and try to put that back into the community somehow. And when I saw that they were doing this, I was like, okay, I want to take a little bit, because normally I probably wouldn't Like Witcher, I've been waiting for a gorgeous edition of this. I don't even know if I'm gonna really like it that much, but I decided I would give it a go because 1, it was an anticipated release for me, and 2, fairy loot seems cool, and then 3, the fact that they were going to have the money go toward a good cause. I was like, okay, I want to take a little bit of this money and put it back into a book box company that I think is doing really good things. So I did have to wait forever though. This was originally on a TBR from a couple months ago, but I'm probably not going to get around to it very soon because it took so long to get in. They had a little bit of difficulties because of the illness around the world, so I won't be able to pick it up right away, but I'm excited it's here now. Next up, I just mentioned Naya Reads and Smiles, and she also has a vlog up for Legendborn. This is another anticipated release of mine. It sort of seems to have an X-Men feel, and I have just heard really, really good things about this one. Also, I just want to let all of you know, I love following artists on Instagram, fan art accounts, cover artist accounts, and one of you was nice enough to let me know that the cover artist for this book has an Instagram account. I'll have it linked down below. Their artwork is gorgeous. It's so stunning. And now any chance I get, I tell people when they say they like the cover, I'm like, oh, you should go follow the artist on Instagram. Their art's so pretty. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm telling you, you should go check out the cover artist. Their art is so pretty. Next up, we have the Book of Colby. I have seen one person talk about it, and that would be my friend Jade from the channel Bedtime Bookworm. Definitely check her channel out if you haven't already. I'm pretty sure she's really close to hitting 5,000 subscribers, which is really exciting. So definitely check her out if you haven't, especially if you're a Wheel of Time fan. Or if you're reading Store My Archive for the first time, check her out because she's going to have some fun Store My Archive content coming up. But either way, she really enjoyed this book, and she compared it, when she described it, as she was describing it, I was like, that sounds like the video game Horizon Zero Dawn. And then she even said it reminded me of Horizon Zero Dawn. And I love the video game Horizon Zero Dawn. So that video game has this kind of post-apocalyptic setting. Humans are scattered into tribes. There's like these robot dinosaur animal things, which doesn't seem like any of it should make any sense, but the game somehow makes it make sense. And I've always thought, wow, what a unique story. That was great. And this just has some vibes, some very similar vibes to that. So I'm very intrigued, and it comes recommended by Jade. Next up, we have Sky Hunter by Marie Lu, and I just want to point out, if you didn't see the naked hardback, how gorgeous is that? I know everybody hates sleeves. I personally don't mind sleeves when it feels like there's a fun secret inside because then it's like you get 2 covers in one. So that cover by itself is beautiful. Also, the pages say Sky Hunter, which I also think is a really fun detail. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know too much about what this is about, but I read The Kingdom of Back earlier this year, loved it so much. One of my favorite books this year. You guys have heard me talk about it probably way too many times at this point. But I loved that book so much, and I'm like, I don't care what she writes or what it's about. I want to pick up more Marie Lu, and I have yet to read more Marie Lu, but when I saw this, I was just so excited. And it's science fiction. I actually want to try to get into more science fiction because I read so much fantasy. I kind of want to read a little bit of the other as well. Also, I don't have it in yet, but I did pick The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue for my book of the month pick for this month. I actually do have a subscription. This isn't sponsored. But I decided to pick that one. And this was one that I was originally not going to pick up for a while because V.E. Schwab has a few other books that I am interested in reading, and I thought I would read those before spending money on this one. But it was my book of the month pick, and I was like, well, okay. Plus, I just really like V.E. Schwab. And also, who else got so excited to see her getting back into the Shades of Magic world? If you guys haven't seen her post, I just saw the very beginning of the new book. That post had me so excited. The last book on this list, I was not intending on getting any more books. I just wanted a cookie. I had a sweet tooth, and the bookstore had a cafe, and I was like, I think I'm gonna get a cookie before I leave. And I went over to the cafe, and they had a deal that if you got anything from the cafe, you could get this book for $5. And I was like, what? Really? And then so I got it for $5. I thought that was a pretty good deal. This seems like a fun, kind of sort of cozy mystery, and I don't read a ton of mystery thriller type books, but I think it's so fun to pick one up every now and again, and when I saw it was only $5, I thought, well, okay, if I'm already getting a cookie, I might as well. That's it though for this book haul. Definitely let me know your thoughts on the books that I mentioned, and if you have any books that you recently got, I would love to know. But anyway, thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.